Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Getting Ready for the New Year, Setting Financial Goals for 2014. I'm Cynthia Tidwell, President and CEO of Royal Neighbors of America and President of the Royal Neighbors Foundation. The mission of both organizations resonates deeply with me and provides the opportunity to help women build better lives for themselves and their families. Royal Neighbors' mission is to provide women and those they care about with valuable insurance and financial products, financial education, member benefits, and opportunities to connect with others in their community. And as a 501c3 public charity dedicated to building women's futures through financial education, the goal of the Royal Neighbors Foundation is to reach out to women across the country and provide them the resources they need to help them become more financially secure. As you can see, both organizations empower women financially. And it's because women and their money is one of my passions that I'm thrilled to be part of both Royal Neighbors and the Royal Neighbors Foundation. We are also very proud to partner with certified financial planner Lauren Lyons Cole to bring you valuable information on how to manage your finances and secure your financial future. It is through generous donations made to our Royal Neighbors Foundation that we are able to provide webinars like this to so many, free of charge. The Foundation's webinars are exactly what women need to remind us of our responsibility to take charge of our financial futures. If you feel you already have, that's great, but there is always so much more to learn. Of course, most of us are interested in money one way or another, but this webinar this evening is all about how to reach our financial goals in 2014. I would like to thank you again for spending the next hour with us to ensure that you start off the new year with an actionable plan to reach your financial goals and have a prosperous 2014. Before we get started, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to go through a few features of the webinar. Sarah?
Thanks, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. This is our final webinar for 2013, and if you missed any of the first three, be sure to check out our website at royalneighborsfoundation.org, where all of the pre-recorded webinars are available. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'd like to quickly point out the chat box at the left side of your screen. Please feel free to type in any comments or questions you may have. As you can see, our facilitator is monitoring the chat box, so make sure you take advantage of that so we won't miss your questions. We also are going to have a few polls throughout the webinar, and if you're in a larger group, I know that we have some larger groups out there. It may be difficult to get a consensus for some of the polls, so don't worry about that. You can either just skip them or just select a representative from your group to answer for their specific circumstances. So let's start with a test poll. So how many are with you in your group? Is it just you? Are there 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 10, or over 10 in your group? Looks good. Great. Thanks for participating. Let's get started. As a personal finance expert, Lauren Lyons Cole has helped thousands of people change the way they think about money and getting organized, spending smarter, and earning more, usually in that order. Lauren has been a frequent guest on the Today Show, CBS This Morning, Marketplace Money, and Inside Edition. Please help me welcome live from New York, Certified Financial Planner, Lauren Lyons Cole.
Thank you, Sarah, and hello, everybody. Good night. I love the live from New York line. I wish that I could do Saturday Night Live, but unfortunately, I don't think that I will ever get asked to do that. But yeah, live from New York. It's financial goals for 2014. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know this is the middle of holiday season. You could be out shopping, so I appreciate instead that you are here talking about financial goals with us tonight. And before I go any further, I have to do a special shout out to my friends at Grace and Glory Apostolic Church, you guys are watching with a huge group out there. Thanks to Ms. Walters and Ms. Gray and Ms. Richardson. So I just want to say hello and thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you get a lot out of this. But to all of you who are joining us tonight, we're so thrilled to have you as we talk about how to set financial goals. And this is one of my favorite topics. So I could not be more excited to be talking about this tonight. So like I sort of alluded to, Thanksgiving is behind us. Black Friday is behind us. Cyber Monday is also behind us. So hopefully you guys are awake out of your food coma, and hopefully you do not do too much damage with these shopping holidays that we have over the past few days. If you did do a lot of damage, hopefully you're holding on to the receipts just in case you need to return anything. But really, as we go into this sort of quiet time in between Thanksgiving and before Christmas starts, or any other holidays you might be celebrating, which maybe someone can tell me. I think Hanukkah is still going on, so happy Hanukkah, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this evening during Hanukkah, which I think is still going on. Apologies for not knowing that. But this is kind of a quiet time for a lot of people, so it's a good time before you really get fast-forwarded into all the family time and all the activities that are going to be happening at the end of December to take a step back and think about what your New Year's resolutions are going to be. New Year's resolutions are a little bit of a joke sometimes, right? Because we set a goal, but we don't actually follow through on the goal. So hopefully from this webinar tonight, you guys are going to have some actionable items that you can use to truly achieve your financial goals in 2014. And I think we have some good ideas for you. But before we go any farther, I want to do another poll and just find out how many of you have already decided to do a financial resolution. So we'll pop up that poll. Either you have decided, you haven't, or you're still not sure, which is fine. So just let us know where you're at with a quick poll right there. Fair enough. Looks like a lot of people are still unsure, and a lot of people are coming to this webinar tonight with the intention of setting a financial resolution. So almost 50-50. Keep it easy and just call it 60-40. Great. Thank you for voting, you guys. All right. So if you're planning to make a financial resolution, chances are one of these 5 are on your mind. So let me know if some of these sound familiar. We've got, I will save more money. I will spend less money. I will pay off all my debt. I will stick to a budget, or I will develop a long-term financial plan. So one of those 5 might be in the forefront of your mind as far as the financial resolution goes. And these are all very noble goals. I'm not going to argue with any of these goals. The one thing is that they're kind of arbitrary. I mean, it's easy to say, I'm going to spend less money, but how are you going to spend less money? Or I'm going to save more money, but what are you saving for? What's the point of saving the money? So these are the kind of questions that we're going to ask tonight. But just so that I have a feeling of where everybody's at in the room, I'm going to throw up another poll. Sorry, guys, we're not going to do this every 2 minutes, I promise. But I do want to just throw up another poll to find out if one of these 5 are on the forefront of your mind. I want to know which ones they are so I can hopefully speak to that a bit as we're going through the webinar tonight. So save more money, spend less money, pay off debt, stick to a budget, develop a financial plan. Okay, only one person wants to spend less money. Okay, two. No, I'm just kidding. No, these are great. And so pay off debt looks like that's a big one, and saving. Those are always big financial goals, great ones. So we're definitely going to talk about that tonight as we go through our webinar. So here's my thing about financial goals. They have to be specific. You can't just say, I'm going to pay off my debt, because God knows, right? You say that and you start trying to put $25 extra here and there and whatever. And before too long, that $25 that you're putting towards your paying off your debt actually ends up being something like you need $25 more worth of groceries. So then you're going to the grocery store, and you're using your credit card, and then you're just right back where you started. So we get trapped in this cycle of not making any progress. And what we want to do this year is break that cycle. Now, this is the way that I reach financial goals. This is the way that I've worked with other people to reach financial goals. So this is what I want to share with you guys tonight. For 2014, I'm just watching the chats on the side there. Hi, Marsha, and hi, everyone. And Shanice Robinson, I totally get it. College is not easy. They need to pay you to go to college, right? Okay, so in 2014, these are the two things that I'm going to encourage everyone who's paying attention tonight to do. We're going to take it easy, and we're going to go crazy. Now, what do I mean by that? By take it easy, I just mean that we're going to set at least one simple and achievable money goal. Now, this is not, I'm going to save more money. That doesn't count. What I'm talking about here, an example would be, I'm going to bring my lunch to work 4 days a week. Or I'm going to go to the library instead of buying books. And I use that one. I have my props with me tonight. I use that one as an example. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that is what I do. I never buy books until I've checked it out from the library first. If I love the book and I want to carry it on my shelf, then I will go buy it. This is actually A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. If I love the book, then I will buy it. But before I buy a book, because books are expensive, I go to the library and I check it out. Super easy way to save money. Same thing applies for movies or DVDs. The library is your best friend. So, but also bringing lunch to work. I use that example because I actually had a person who came to a seminar of mine about 2 years ago. And I said during that seminar, if you just brought your lunch to work and if you just took it home for dinner, you could max out your IRA. And then you'd be that much closer to reaching your retirement savings goals. And, sometimes I say these things and I think nobody's listening. But this woman came to the same seminar a year later and she said, you told me to bring my lunch to work and you told me to make dinner at home more often. And you know what? I did. And you know what else? I maxed out my IRA for the first time in my life. And I thought, that is so cool. I am so proud of you. And so if she can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of putting your mind to it and understanding the connection. So if you're going to save more money, if you're going to pay off your debt, you have to change your behavior, and the behavior has to be something small. There is no way you can tell me that you're going to stop going to Target. Like I'm never going to shop at Target again because every time I go in there, I spend $100, which how true is that, right? So you can't tell me you're going to stop doing that. What you can tell me is I'm going to bring my lunch to work, or I'm going to stop buying soda for the entire year. That's a great way to save money. Just only drink water. Buy yourself a beautiful, nice water bottle, which is, I actually have one. This is not exactly beautiful anymore, but carry the water bottle with you everywhere you go. Totally free. I give you permission to buy a $30 water bottle if that will mean that you will not buy sodas or juices or anything for the rest of the year. So this is what I'm talking about. These simple, very achievable, very specific goals. That's one hand, okay? So that's one thing we're going to do. The other thing we're going to do is totally go crazy. And going crazy is not exactly saving more money. It's not paying off your debt. Okay, those things are not crazy. They're not exactly fun. They're kind of motivating, but also they're kind of arbitrary, right? So when I say go crazy, what I mean is that I want you to think of something that is going to motivate you. It's going to drive you to stop buying sodas or to start going to the library or whatever your small, achievable money goal is. This big goal has to be in the background. It has to be the big picture. The thing that's like really in your heart, so that when you're tempted to buy a soda, when you're tempted to buy lunch, you can think, but I really want to take that trip to Italy, or I really want to start my own business, or I really want to change the cabinets in my kitchen, or I want a new fridge, or I want a new car, whatever it is, something that's really fun and a little crazy, like something that you don't totally believe is within the realm of possibilities. So these are the two things. We're going to make it really easy, and then we're going to make it really crazy. And here's the secret. So you can stop watching now if you want. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Here's the secret. If you can break it down like this, you're going to find that you end up reaching all those other goals. These things that are the common goals, right? You're going to end up saving more money. You're going to spend less. You're going to pay off debt. You'll stick to a budget, well, maybe, but you're going to reach these other, and sticking to a budget is not necessary. I mean, sticking to a budget is really just a means to an end. So if you're paying off your debt and if you're reaching your savings goals, then sticking to a budget, take it or leave it. But we've got to have this easy goal, and we've got to have this crazy goal that's going to motivate us, okay? And then a lot of things are going to start to fall into place. And when things start falling into place, then you start getting momentum. And that's where really exciting things happen. Trust me, because I have experienced it myself. So I'm not making this up. Okay, so these are the 3 steps that we need to do to achieve our easy financial goal. First, you've got to be able to see it. Not just think it. You can't just think to yourself, you know, I think for 2014, I'm going to give up buying lunch at work. You've got to be able to see it. After that, you've got to come up with a plan. So you can't just say, I'm going to bring my lunch to work if you do not have the habit of doing that. You've got to come up with a plan on how you're going to reach that goal, that small, achievable, easy goal. Even easy goals need a plan. And then you've got to track your progress. You've got to monitor where you're at. You've got to hold yourself accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, you need to get a friend to do it. I recommend Ms. Walters. Just kidding. Well, for those ladies at Grace and Glory, you guys can go to Ms. Walters or Ms. Gray or Ms. Richardson. For everyone else, get a money buddy if you need to. Send me an email. Send Sarah or Cynthia, the Royal Neighbors Foundation, email. We love hearing from you. We want you to achieve your goals. That's why we're here. That's why we're not out shopping tonight. So this is a 3-step process. So let's go through it in a little bit more depth. First of all, you've got to see your goals. You've got to write it down. Now, I've got another example, which is this. This is my journal. I love journaling, and I have a fancy pen. So when I'm telling you guys to do these things or to stop doing certain things, like buying lunch at work, there are ways that you can still treat yourself, like buying a beautiful journal or a beautiful water bottle. So I have my journal, and I have for years practiced writing down my goals. I usually do it at the beginning of the year, and I usually do it again on my birthday, which happens to be in September. So those are kind of the 2 times of year that I like to do it. Maybe that'll work for you too, unless your birthday is January 3rd. But, I mean, I guess you could check back in that quickly. So you've got to write down your goals. And here's the crazy thing. When I started doing this, it was more of like kind of a young, idealistic dreamer type person who was like, gosh, wouldn't it be so great if? And I started writing these things down. And then it was so weird. I would go back and look at those journal entries a year later and think, wow, like 9 out of 10 of those things happened. And it took a few years for me to be like, all right, there's something to this writing things down. This is really working for me. I'm going to keep doing it. So I've continued to do it. And it's the weirdest thing. I will write down the most bizarre things that I would like to accomplish. And, you know, not all of them, but a lot of them have really come to fruition. So with, you know, your big goals, your big dreamer goals, by all means, write those things down. But also with your simple goals. So if your simple goal is, I'm going to bring my lunch to work 4 days a week, write it down in your journal. Put it where your brain can read it and think, oh, okay, that's true. In the same way that we read the news and we think, this particular thing happened because we've read it, we've seen it, we believe that it's true. Make your own news article. You will bring your lunch to work 4 days a week. Write it down. Now, the flip side of that is, this is another one of my favorite things, is creating vision boards. And, you know, for any of you who love magazines, which a lot of women do, if you've got a stack of magazines sitting around at home, go to Target, buy a piece of poster board. You know, you probably have some glue and scissors at home, and put together a vision board. There are great instructions online. If you're not really sure how to do it, you can Google it. What I like to do is just cut out pictures of things that are motivating to me or inspiring to me, or things that I aspire to doing. So make a beautiful vision board and put it up somewhere in your room that you'll see it, like in your bedroom, somewhere private, because these are sort of intimate things, but somewhere where you will be reminded on a daily basis of what you're trying to achieve. Now, this image in the background is actually part of my vision board, but I made it a little blurry because it is kind of an intimate thing, but you might be able to see there, I have a lot of pictures of desks and people sitting at a chair, or like chairs with desks, because sometimes I'm so busy, it's hard to find time to sit down and focus on writing or other goals that I have. So that's something I want to see pictures of beautiful desks so that I can think, okay, right, I got to sit at my desk and do some writing or do some whatever I need to get done. So that's something that I have on my vision board. Your vision board might be different. You might have pictures of Italy. You might have pictures of, you know, your dream home, your dream car. You might have pictures of a businesswoman, you know, in a suit, because you want to start your own business. I mean, whatever. Anything that is really inspiring to you should go on your vision board. And these should be the crazy goals. These should be the things that you don't really think you can achieve, okay? So remember, we're doing these 2 different angles. We've got the easy things, and then we've got the totally unbelievable stretch goals. Now, another thing that I was going to show is and you've probably heard this before, it can help to have things written near your bed or even in the bathroom. Sometimes I have little post-it notes up in the bathroom, which I think might be dorky, but it's helpful to have little words around your space that motivate you to reach your goals. Okay, so here's one that I have. It's actually just a quote. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read it or not, but it says, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." And I love that quote. It's from Nelson Mandela, and I think, hello, what a great role model for someone who really followed his passion and lived well beyond what any of us can imagine. I mean, we're like, I'm just trying to pay off my credit card debt, and he's like, freeing a country. So if he can achieve amazing things, I am here to tell you, so can you. And if you need to have quotes from your own heroes up around your space so that you remember and stay motivated, that, what we're trying to do is really within our control. We can do this. So make sure you can see your goals, whatever that means to you. The next thing we have to do, and this part's a little bit less fun, it's a little bit less creative. So for those of you who have a more analytical mind, you're going to really enjoy this step, which is to create a plan to achieve your goal. And I mean a specific plan that you can follow. Like when you're at work and your boss tells you that she needs something by a certain deadline, it's a lot easier to finish that task if she gives you specific instructions. If she's just like, oh yeah, I don't know, whatever, just do it, figure it out, that can be a little bit stressful. So coming up with instructions we can follow for ourselves, for our goals, is a really important part of reaching those financial resolutions, especially because the year is a long time. And chances are we're not always going to stay on track. But if we have a plan that we can go back to, then we can easily get back to where we need to be. So for instance, let's say we're talking about the bringing your lunch to work 4 days a week plan. We can come up with some very specific steps to achieve this. So maybe Saturday is your day off, and perhaps, husband's home to watch the kids. So Saturday, you're going to go grocery shopping. Give yourself an hour, go to the store. Even if you spend more on groceries than you usually do, you're going to save in the long run because you're not buying lunch at work. Because Chipotle adds up, let me tell you. So going grocery shopping on a specific day, and it's not always going to work out that you can go on that day, but if you know in your mind that that's your goal, if you miss it, you can get back on track. Number 2, for this example, I will bring my lunch to work 4 days a week. Keeping easy snacks on hand, like something, yes, Dunkin' Donuts adds up too, just like Chipotle. Good point. We're just reading the chats over here. So, keeping, if your goal is to bring your lunch to work, some days you're going to forget because some days the kids are going to be sick, or some days, you're going to accidentally sleep in late, or some days you're just not going to feel like packing your lunch. We all have those days. So that's why you need a backup drawer at your desk, right? You keep in like some almonds or some granola bars, or maybe those little like soups in a cup or some, that's not enough food for me, but if, whatever you can manage to eat for lunch on a day that you forget so that you don't have to leave your desk. Keep those things on hand. So you're going to the grocery store on Saturday. You're going to keep snacks on hand for the days you forget. And then if it helps you, give yourself a cheat day every week. Maybe on Fridays, you go with the girls and you go to like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. And you can go and, spend a certain amount. Give yourself a limit, like maybe $6 or $8 or at the most $10. That's a lot for lunch. But, if that's going to help you, give yourself a cheat day. I happen to be someone who doesn't love cheat days for what it's worth. I would rather bring my lunch to work 5 days a week and then every now and then know that I'm going to miss a day and have that be the cheat day rather than a premeditated cheat day. But again, everyone's different. You got to do what works for you. The important thing is to create a plan that you can stick to. So this is for your really simple, easy goal, whatever it is that you're thinking of. And hopefully you guys will share, because I'd be really curious to hear what sort of things you decide to do. If it's that you're going to go to the library, rather than buying books, create an account online. At least at New York Public Library, we have an ability to request books and they'll bring it to my library. I can just go pick them up. It's just like Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It's that simple. So whatever it is that your goal is going to be, make a plan to achieve it. Let's see. Okay, So once you've come up with a plan, it is so important to hold yourself accountable. You have to track your progress. This is, in fact, if you forget everything else, this is the one thing you have to know. Tracking your progress is everything. I have tracked my spending for, I think it's like 15 years now, which might sound a little bit crazy, but that's how I know where I'm at. You know, I always have a grasp of where I'm at financially because I'm tracking it. I use mint.com. Before that, I used to just use, I kept like a Word document where I kept track of everything, you know, on a monthly basis. So mint.com is a really good app if you're interested in that one. They have bank level security. You hook up all of your accounts, like you can attach your student loans, your credit cards, your checking accounts, your savings accounts, link them all in. It's totally safe. I've been using Mint for 5 years now. Never had a problem. I've had tons of people sign up for it. And if you have a smartphone, you can even download the app to your phone to keep track of where your accounts are at. This is so important. I cannot stress it enough. The other thing is having a money buddy. You know, you can have a friend. You can track it in your journal. If you've, you know, used your pretty journal. Maybe you make a date with yourself every Saturday after you go grocery shopping, or maybe before you go grocery shopping, make a little check-in. Like, how did I do this week? You know, how much did I spend on lunch? How many times did I bring my lunch? Those sorts of things. You've got to stay on top of yourself. These are some other good websites and apps that I like. This pretty picture here is it's an iPhone app, I believe. It might be on Android too, but it's called Habitlist.com. That one's really pretty, but it's not free. It costs $1.99. So I don't know. I'm generally opposed to paying for apps if you don't have to. And so the first two on the list do very similar things, but they're free. So Lyft, it's lyft.do is the website. And somebody is popping these websites up in the chat box. So if you're not sure what I'm saying, you can see it there. And then Good Habits is another one. It's goodtohere.co.uk. So those are 3 different apps you can use in addition to mint.com, in addition to your journal. Another good tip, if you use Google Calendar, any kind of calendar, you know, web app or whatever, even your work calendar, you can set an alert to remind yourself. So if Saturday is your grocery shopping day, set an alert for Saturday at 9 a.m. Like, you know, don't forget, go grocery shopping today. I love using calendar alerts because that way I stay on top of, you know, what I need to be doing. Because life is busy, right? I mean, life is so busy. And if you don't have something popping into your brain to remind you, it's really hard to stay on track. So whatever it takes, figure out a way that you're going to monitor your progress, get a money buddy, do whatever you can, stay on top of this goal. Eventually, it's going to become a habit. It's going to be a lot easier to go to the grocery store on Saturday once you've done that for a few times. But we're talking about changing behaviors here. So we really have to do everything we can to force ourselves to transition in 2014. So, and we sort of already talked about this, but as for your crazy financial goals, it is so important to keep these at the front of your mind too. The day-to-day of your life has to incorporate the boring goals, the easy goals, the saving money on lunch, the, you know, going to the library. Those sorts of things have to be at the front of our mind. But they're kind of useless if you don't equally keep your crazy dreams at the front of your mind as well. So, you know, there's only so much we can do about bringing our lunch to work. We've got to stay motivated from deep inside that we're living for a life that is bigger than what we're living today. That is what this is all about. So your crazy financial goals are a huge part of that. So make your vision board, you know, look at the vision board on a daily basis. If a door opens that's related to that crazy dream that you put out into the universe, walk through the door. You know, it's not that hard. Don't be afraid. You're going to see too, as you're working towards the simple goal, which is why I like to have both, the simple goal and the crazy goal. As you're working towards a simple goal, you're going to feel more and more confident in your ability to achieve your financial goals. And that's the foundation that we all need so that we can start moving towards the life we really envision living, the house we envision buying, the business we envision having, the trips we envision taking. Those sorts of things, we're going to work our way up to that by changing small things. So don't be afraid to achieve those big goals and to keep them right in front of your face. Tell people about them. I mean, really, tell people, write them down. They're just as important as your simple goals when it comes to setting financial goals for 2014. And that actually brings us to the end. Now, I know we're at the end, but I just want to read this quote again. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. And that is what this is all about. Setting your financial goals for 2014 is all about going into the new year with a new mindset, a new lease on life, a new ability to achieve little things, stepping stones that are going to get you to where you ultimately want to be. We believe in you. I believe in you. All the Royal Neighbors Foundation family believes in you. You got to believe in yourself. You got to write down your goals. You got to see them in front of your face. Make a plan. Work towards them. Stay on track. Stay in touch with us. Let us know how your progress is going. In fact, you can actually connect with us on Facebook, or I think most of our websites are there as well, royalneighborsfoundation.org, laurenlyonscole.com. Please stay in touch with us as you go into the new year, because we're really excited to hear how your progress goes.
Definitely. Thank you, Lauren. This was a great session to wrap up the year. We're so happy that we've been able to partner with you and look forward to another successful 2014 in the future. A survey is going to pop up at the end of our webinar, and I encourage you all to stick around and complete that. There is a question that asks if you'd like a copy of the slides that you saw tonight, and we'll make sure that we get those to you if you answer that question. And just want to take a few moments to thank you, Lauren, and all of you for joining us, and hope to see you in 2014. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.